After studying this module, you shall be able to know the various types of blunt force injuries, mainly only two types, that is abrasion and laceration. So basically, you will be able to know what is abrasion, its type, how many types of abrasions are, and how we opine about the age of abrasion, the diagnosis and medico-legal importance of abrasion, then what is laceration, its types and how the aging of laceration is done, and what is the medico-legal importance of laceration. Now let me take one by one, first abrasion and then laceration. The abrasion, the term abrasion is derived from the Latin word abrade, which means abrade is the noun and abrader is a verb, which means to scrape away by friction or by rubbing. Abrasion is defined as the type of mechanical injury where there is destruction of the superficial layers of the epidermis. Thus, by definition, abrasion does not penetrate the full thickness of the epidermis, and a pure abrasion does not bleed, as blood vessels are confined to the dermis only. However, because of the corrugated nature of the dermal papillae, many abrasions may enter stratum corneum and slight bleeding may occur. Abrasion is basically a two-dimensional injury and is measured always as per its length and breadth. Then how this abrasion is produced, the mechanism of production of abrasion. Basically, the abrasion is caused by destruction of the superficial layers of the skin, which can be either due to direct compression force or due to tangential force application. Abrasion most commonly occurs when exposed skin comes in contact with a moving rough surface, causing a grinding or rubbing off of the superficial layer of the epidermis. Thus, tangential forces over the body cause a linear abrasion or graze abrasion, and a compression force over the body causes pattern abrasions like impact abrasion and pressure abrasions. Now, let's see what are various types of abrasion. Basically, there are four types of abrasion: scratch abrasion, the graze abrasion, the pressure abrasion, and the impact abrasion. Now, let's take one by one. What are scratch abrasion? They are also called as linear abrasion, and these type of abrasion are caused by a tangential or horizontal friction by the pointed end of weapons like needles, knife, etc., or by the perpendicular friction with some linear objects like nail. There is associated loss of the epidermis and heaping up of the epidermis towards the tail end of the injury as a result of the tangential force applied. The abrasion is wider at the starting point and then gradually shows heaping up of the epithelium towards the end. Hence, the direction of the force is from wider side to the narrower side of the scratch. Then second category is the graze abrasion or the brush abrasion. The graze abrasion is also known as sliding abrasion, the gliding abrasion or scrape abrasion, and they are most commonly associated with almost all kind of road traffic accidents. They occur when there is a movement between the skin and rough surface in contact with it. The graze abrasion is characterized by uneven, longitudinal parallel lines having grooves or furrows with epithelium heaped up at the ends of these lines. And this heaping up of epithelium generally indicates the direction of force. Usually, the skin is uniformly denuded at the start or may be serrated. The epidermis is scraped off, destroyed or detached. A glancing kick by the boot may also produce such kind of injuries. Many of these abrasions may reach till dermis due to the corrugated nature and therefore the bleeding occurs. An abrasion caused by violent lateral or tangential rubbing against a surface, just like dragging over the ground, is called a brush burn or the gravel rash. The friction burn is nothing but an extensive superficial reddened excoriated area without serious oozing or bleeding and with little or no mark. Usually occurs due to the tangential contact with smooth surface or when the skin is covered by the clothing. These brush burns or friction burns are seen in motorcyclists, pedestrians, persons being ejected from vehicle after primary contact from the another motor vehicle. The third category of the abrasion is the pressure abrasion. Pressure abrasion or the friction abrasions, they are caused by crushing of the superficial layer of the epidermis and usually associated with bruise of the surrounding surfaces. Hence, if the movement of the weapon is around 90-degree angle to the skin, usually pressure abrasion occurs. In this type, usually the movement is directed inwards. The ligature mark in case of a hanging is an example of a pressure abrasion. Then the impact abrasion, the fourth type. The impact abrasion is also called as imprint abrasion or the contact abrasion. They are usually caused by impact with a rough surface when the force is applied at or near the skin surface. The abrasion is slightly depressed below the surface unless there is bulging due to the local edema. The impact abrasions and the pressure abrasions, they reproduce the pattern of object causing it, and therefore they are also called as patterned abrasions. This injury suggests the pattern of the inflicting weapon. This is caused when the force is produced at right angle to the surface. If skin is struck with a weapon having patterned surface or the body falls on a patterned surface, the abrasion is caused by the ridges of the objects leading to pattern abrasion. For example, when a motor tire passes over the skin, or imprint of a bicycle chain or ropes or a multi-thronged whip. Now, how the aging of the abrasion is done, or with the help of you can say by examining the abrasion whether we can opine how much old the injury is. So, determining the age of the abrasion is very much important from the medico-legal point of view when question of age of injury arises. It is not possible to determine the exact age of the injury in terms of hours. So, it is always given in a range depending upon the gross examination. How it is? Let us understand. Abrasion is fresh within initial 12 hours. It is called as fresh, which appears as bright red in color. That will be the fresh injury, which is within 12 hours. Then in 12 to 24 hours, the lymph and blood dries off, leaving the bright red scab formation. Then between 2 to 3 days, there occurs reddish brown scab formation. Then from 4 to 7 days, the abrasion appears dark brown to brownish black scab. The epithelium grows further and this covers the defect under the scab. Then after 7 days, scab dries, shrinks and falls off, leaving depigmented area underneath, and around 10 to 14 days there is no evidence of any previous injury as the skin is almost of the same color. Histologically, if we examine the abrasion, in 4 to 6 hours there occurs perivascular infiltration. Then in 12 hours, 3 layers are seen: a surface zone of fibrin and red cells, deeper zone of infiltrating polymorphs, and deepest layer abnormally staining collagen. Then in 48 hours, scab is well formed and epithelial regeneration is seen by the margins of the cell. 4 to 5 days, the small abrasions are completely covered by the epithelium. 5 to 8 days, the subepithelial formation of granulation tissue is prominent, and by 8th day, reticulum fibers are seen. The 9 to 12 day, collagen fibers are seen, and by 12th day the regression begins. Now let us understand the difference between the antemortem and postmortem abrasions, because that is very important when we examine the injury. Because especially in the death cases, when the abrasion occurring at the perimortem period, it is very difficult to differentiate. If we see the site in antemortem injuries, it can be produced, it can be found anywhere on the body, whereas the postmortem abrasions will be found usually over the body prominences. Examine the color. In antemortem abrasions, it will be bright or reddish brown color depending upon the age of the injury, whereas the post-mortem abrasions will be yellowish, translucent and parchment-like. If you see the exudation, in ante-mortem abrasion, more scab is raised as a result, whereas there will be no exudation practically or very little exudation, and a scab lies below the level of the skin. If you examine microscopically, in ante-mortem abrasions, the vital reactions and congestion will be seen, whereas in case of post-mortem abrasions, there will be no vital reactions or congestions. When we see the abrasions in a dead body, so then there are other situations also which we have to keep in mind. What could be the other possibilities which look like an abrasion but in fact they are not. So let's understand the differential diagnosis of abrasions. One of the most important differential diagnosis is the erosions produced by the ant bite. They are called as sometimes post-mortem abrasions also, but the better to use the term erosions, post-mortem erosions. And they are produced by the ant bites, and which is a very common phenomena in our circumstances. Usually these ants produce brown erosions with minute irregular margins of the superficial layer of the skin, and they are most commonly found in the mucocutaneous junctions over the eyelids, or the nostrils, or the mouth, the ear, the axilla, the lips, the groins, the moist fold of the skin and genitalia, and they resemble abrasion. And to differentiate between the two, examination has to be done by a hand lens, which will show multiple crescent shaped sand-like bite marks, which is separated by a normal skin in between and with no underlying vital reaction. Second differential diagnosis is the excoriation of the skin by excreta. Usually in infants, the slight excoriation of skin is seen at the napkin area at the time of death, and these after death become dry, depressed and parchment-like with varying color of yellow to brown, and hence gives an appearance of an abrasion. Then pressure sores or the bed sores. In prolonged bedridden patients, these pressure sores develop, which later can be confused with abrasions. These pressure sores usually develop over the point of pressure like buttock, the sacral region. The drying of the skin. The skin of scrotum may get dried up, causing reddish brown coloration resembling an abrasion. Now, what is the medico-legal importance of this injury abrasion? It gives an idea regarding the site of impact and the direction of force, because it will be produced on the same site. The age of injury can be opined by seeing various changes. A simple abrasion can be a telltale sign of a grave underlying hemorrhage or concussion. Pattern abrasion is helpful in connecting the wound with the weapon of offense. The character and manner of injury can be known from its distribution. In open wounds, accumulation of grease, dirt and any other foreign particles may lead to the scene of crime or the perpetrator. In case of throttling or manual strangulation, crescentic abrasions are seen due to fingernails. In smothering, abrasions may be seen in and around the oral cavity and inner aspect of the lips. In sexual assault cases, abrasions may be seen on the breast, genitalia, inner aspect of thigh or anus. Abrasions over the face of assailant indicates struggle. Abrasion over the face of the victim may give an idea regarding whether the perpetrator's nails are long or irregular or broken. So all these are medico-legal importance of the abrasions. Now coming on to the second type of blunt force injury, that is lacerations. The lacerations are tears or splits of the skin, mucous membrane, muscle or internal organs, which are produced by application of blunt force to the body, which stresses tissues beyond their limit of elasticity. They are also called as tear or rupture of the tissues. These localized portions of the tissue are displaced by the impact of blunt force, leading to setting up of traction forces and causing tearing of the tissues. The laceration is therefore a three-dimensional injury and is measured in terms of length, breadth as well as depth of the injury. When we examine, the salient features of a laceration are The margins of the wound, lacerated wound, are typically irregular or uneven as the injury is produced by the blunt force impact rather than a sharp cut. Edge, if we examine the edge of that injury, edge vary as per the direction of the force applied. In an angular impact, the skin on the side of the wound opposite to the direction of motion is torn free and undermined, while the skin on the other side from which the blow was delivered is abraded and beveled. In a perpendicular impact, the edges will be undermined uniformly. Being a three-dimensional injury, the depth is always to be measured, and the same depends upon the degree of force and the depth of the soft tissue parts. The shape and size. Usually, shape and size don't correspond to the weapon of offense, but linear laceration is produced by a long, thin objects like crowbar or iron rod, and if curved, then convexity of the curvature points towards the direction of application of force. The crescentic lacerations are produced by blunt object with an edge like hammerhead. The gaping of the wound is present due to the pull of the elastic and muscular tissues. The surrounding skin may be bruised due to the blunt force trauma. The characteristic finding of laceration is tissue bridging, which are seen at the base of the wound. It is mainly because the deeper tissues are unevenly divided. The tissue bridges become apparent when the edges of the wound are gently separated manually. The presence of tissue bridges immediately indicates blunt force trauma. Bridging is also seen in the internal organs. The hair bulbs and epidermal tracts are crushed. The hemorrhages are less in laceration due to the fact that the vessels are crushed and torn irregularly, as a result of which they can retract. The foreign bodies may be present in the wound, and if force produced bleeding into the adjacent tissues, the injury is called as contused laceration or a bruised tear. And if the margins are abraded, then it is called as abraded laceration or a scraped tear. If the blunt force produces extensive bruising and laceration of deeper tissue, it is called as crushing injury. Now there can be several types of laceration like split laceration, stretch laceration, the avulsion laceration and the tear laceration. So these are the four types of lacerations. Now split laceration. The split laceration occurs when the skin gets crushed between two hard objects. Scalp laceration occurs due to the tissues being crushed between skull and some hard object like a blunt weapon or the hard ground. These tissue bridging are present in such injury but with no undermining of the splits. So the incised like or incised looking lacerated wounds are the wounds which are produced without excessive skin damage, and thus the margins are relatively sharp. The blunt force impact on the parts where the skin is close to the bone and subcutaneous tissues are scanty produces a wound with linear splitting of the tissues. Such wound by naked eye looks like incised wound. But if observed under a hand lens, then irregular margins could be appreciated and could be differentiated from an incised wound. The common sites of such phenomena are scalp, the eyebrows, the cheekbones, the lower jaw and the shin of the tibia. Now second type of laceration is the stretch laceration. Stretch lacerations are produced by overstretching of the skin against a fixed point, resulting in a large flap of skin to be peeled off the underlying bone or deep fascia. And this is seen in running over by a motor vehicle, and this flap may indicate the direction of the force. Even a glancing kick by boot may also produce similar type of injury. Then third type of laceration is the avulsion laceration, or also called as shearing laceration. The avulsion laceration is produced due to any grinding compression from any fast moving tire of a motor vehicle, heavy motor vehicle, or a rotator heavy industrial machine, which cause separation or avulsion and losing of a large area of skin from the underlying attachments. The wound is devoid of any overlying skin. The underlying muscles are heavily bruised, and this is also known as flaying of the skin. Then fourth type of laceration is the tear laceration. The tear laceration is the commonest type of laceration caused due to tear of the skin and tissues from impact by or against irregular or semi-sharp objects such as door handle of a car. It may also be caused by blows of a broken glass or fall over a rough projected object. A tear is deeper at the starting point and gradually becomes shallower at the termination. This aging of the laceration is a difficult one unless there are clear signs of healing such as granulation tissue, fibroblast in growth or organizing infiltrate. Again, to differentiate between antemortem and postmortem laceration, if we see the antemortem lacerations will show bleeding, eversion of the margins, blood stained margins, bruising, gaping, vital reactions, all these antemortem phenomena which will be present in case of antemortem lacerations but will be absent in postmortem lacerations. Postmortem lacerations otherwise are very rare to produce. Then the medico-legal importance. The type of laceration indicates the cause of injury and the shape of the blunt weapon also. The age of injury could be detected in uninfected wounds. The foreign bodies, if found in the wound, this may indicate the circumstances of the crown, especially the recovery of the glass particles from the wound. A combination of laceration along with abrasion and contusion may give an idea regarding the weapon of offense. They may be produced by different weapon or by same weapon having different edges, for example, kicking and stomping. The manner of production of the injury can be determined by careful observation, whether accidental, homicidal or very rarely suicidal. The complications in case of a lacerations. The pulmonary or systemic fat embolism due to crushing of the subcutaneous tissue is one of the commonest complications of this injury. Hemorrhagic shock due to laceration of vital organs. Then infection may set in if it is not attended properly. If laceration is located in an area where the skin is wrinkled or stretched, for example over joints, the repeated oozing of the tissue fluids and blood may cause irritation, pain and dysfunction. To summarize the topic, the abrasion is defined as the type of mechanical injury where there is destruction of the superficial layers of the epidermis. Determining the age of the abrasion is very much important from medico-legal point of view when question of age of injury arises. Lacerations are tears or splits of skin, mucous membrane, muscle or internal organs which are produced by application of blunt force to the body, which stresses tissues beyond their limit of elasticity. Abrasion is a two-dimensional injury, whereas laceration is a three-dimensional injury, and this is measured in terms of length, breadth as well as depth also. Incised looking wounds are basically lacerations which are present over the specific sites of the body like scalp, forehead, eyebrows, cheekbones, lower jaw and shin of tibia. Age determination in a case of laceration is difficult unless there are clear signs of healing such as granulation tissue, fibroblast, etc. If laceration is located in an area where the skin is wrinkled or stretched, for example joints, etc., the repeated oozing of tissue fluids and blood may cause irritation, pain and severe dysfunction.